During the colonial era, and even after the United States had gained its independence, America favored immigration until the 1870s when things started to change. America was a home to immigrants and welcomed them with open arms. Many of the founding fathers were amongst these immigrants who wanted to pursue happiness and liberty. Immigrants came here without much restriction and settled in the country and contributed their share to the society. But as the years progressed into the 1800s, things started to change. Many Americans started to look at immigrants differently. Different people viewed immigration differently. With all these factions involved, the US government had to respond. So, the government decided to put restrictions on the immigration process. The restrictions ranged from the amount of people that could enter the US in one region to various screenings when immigrants entered the US between 1870 and 1920.
Of all the American political parties in the 19th century, perhaps none generated more controversy than the Know Nothing Party, or the Know Nothings. Officially known as the American Party, it actually emerged from a secret society opposed to immigrants coming to America. As immigration from Europe increased in the early 1800s, citizens who had been born in the United States began to feel resentment at the new arrivals. Those opposed to immigrants became known as nativists. During the mid-1800s, there was a massive addition of Chinese immigrants who wanted to form a better life outside of China. California was a popular destination, which was also known as the Golden Mountain, to the Chinese for its rich abundances and many economic opportunities. Tension and animosity grew against the Chinese, which forced the U.S. to enact the Chinese Exclusion Acts in 1882, which according to the Shirley Lim article was the first act in American history to bar a group by a specific name. Another act that Congress passed was the National Origins Act of 1924 and 1929. It was a discriminatory immigration law that restricted the immigration of some Europeans and practically excluded Asians and other non-whites from entry into the United States.
There are many different theories to immigration, with the three most prevalent being assimilation, the melting pot theory, and the salad bowl. Assimilation basically means that the immigrants lost most, if not all, of their heritage when immersed in the new country. The melting pot theory, on the other hand, says that all of the immigrants contribute parts of their own culture to make a new, unique American culture. In general, the melting pot theory mixes cultures, languages, and opinions into one homogeneous American culture. In contrast, the salad bowl theory says that, like a salad, the cultures of individuals are mixed together, but you can visibly see the different parts, whether it be Irish, Italian, or Chinese heritage. These cultures are juxtaposed together and not completely merged. Some of America's first settlers came in search of a freedom to practice their faith. In 1620, a group of roughly 100 people, later known as the Pilgrims, fled religious persecution in Europe, most especially England, and arrived at present-day Plymouth, Massachusetts, where they established a colony. They were soon followed by a larger group seeking religious freedom, the Puritans, who established the Massachusetts Bay Colony. By some estimates, 20,000 Puritans migrated to the region between 1630 and 1640. Though they faced difficulties with the land and weather, the Pilgrims were satisfied by the granted freedom.
The earliest waves of settlers to the Americas up through the first half of the 19th century constituted the era of the old immigration. These settlers came to the Americas mostly from Western and Northern Europe. Immigrants came to the Americas during these eras for a wide variety of reasons, political, social, and economic. The earliest roots of nativism, or anti-immigration feelings in American society, surfaced during this era. The new immigrants came during the period of intense industrial development known as the Gilded Age, as well as a reaction to this growth during the Progressive Era. This period immediately following the Civil War and extending up till the 1920s. These immigrants came to America from areas that had not traditionally supplied settlers to the U.S. The lands of Southern Europe and Eastern Europe, such as Italy, Ireland, Russia, Poland, and Greece, as well as Asian locals, such as China and Japan. Immigrants came to America during this era mostly for economic opportunities. During new immigration, immigrants faced many difficulties. Their language, customs, religions, and traditions clashed with those prevailing in the U.S. at the time, based on the culture brought by the older immigrants. This social conflict led to discrimination against such groups.
Despite this, America has a history of acceptance and tolerance towards people who choose to immigrate to this country. The United States came to be known as the land of opportunity because people were free to work hard and succeed here. Though some immigrants experience prejudice and difficulties, in general, America has been a land of opportunity for them all.